Okay. Uh, Took a really nice win today. Feels really good. I'll be honest. Um, I followed my trading plan. On top of that, um, just the way the trade played out was perfect. Like, not only did it hit my take profit, but I had zero drawdown. When I broke even, I didn't even have to sit through any drawdown at all after I broke even. And my break even's relatively close to my entry. Like, we could have easily tapped break even and went back to my or I'm sorry, tapped my break even point and then went back to my entry, right? But we didn't do that. On top of that, you know, uh, because I had no work on Monday for Martin Luther King Day, meetings got pushed back to today. So I had a 10 a.m. meeting that I would have had to really be present for. So, like, this played out perfectly in the sense that, I mean, it triggered my TP a minute or two before I got into that 10 a.m. meeting. So this everything about this was just perfect. So I have to be, I could be over negative sometimes on the bad days or the days when I feel like price went against me and I did everything right. So I have to, soak this in and be, you know, positive about and really like identify every positive thing about this trade. This was really a perfect trade, perfect setup. So just starting on the daily, it doesn't really give you much. I mean, we can go to the weekly real fast too, just to look. We really don't. I mean, we're just chopping. We're chopping around. This price action is very ugly. We swept a prominent low there, you could say, yesterday, and so this bounce that we're seeing because we're still in this range makes a decent amount of sense. We also took previous daily low, and we left previous daily high untouched, and also there is a new week opening gap where the previous daily high is. So decent magnet for price, right? On top of that, we swept all this liquidity here. So this like internal low we swept. And then I look to the upside. I'm like, okay, if we are going to go higher, well, there's really not much stopping this from going to previous daily high and hitting that new week opening gap. There's no 4 hour that's unfilled. There's no 4 hour at all here. There's one here, but it's filled. So no fair value gaps. On the hourly, there was, and actually, the second 1 hour here was my take profit. Um, and so the hourly, you could see the sweep a little bit nicer here. Um, Now I entered the trade before this candle closed, so we technically had not inversed this candle yet, this 1 hour here. But I mean, when we're trading all the way up here at when did I enter exactly? I entered at 9:45. When we have 15 minutes left of this candle, I mean, look, anything can happen, but for us not to have inversed this at that point would be ridiculous, right? So I could consider that an inverse. This, you can leave it up to yourself if you want. That I would not consider that an inverse yet without this candle closing. It's a little bit closer, right? We could easily wick down and respect it. But this was unfilled and my target. Okay, then we left a 15-minute open and we tapped into it upon market open. We had already taken this Asia session high, which I guess would have been nicer had we not taken it before we entered. It would have been like a better area to push for a break even. Um, it just would have been another magnet for price to hunt towards or push towards had we not taken that high. And let me just look at ES here. I didn't look too much at an SMT today, but I mean, we took it as well on ES. So it's not like there was an SMT there. And yeah, so this was a 15-minute continuation. After the sweep of liquidity, we tapped into the 15-minute and consider it a 5-minute continuation as well. And the inverse, the highest time frame inverse, took place on the 4-minute. So we inversed it, and then I was lucky enough to, I didn't enter with a limit order, but I might as well have because my market was pretty much here. Um, so sat on barely any drawdown. Traded this on my uh, my combines as well as my funded account because I was pausing trading on my funded account for the time being. I was just going to focus on the combines, but then I got an email saying that I get a one-time notice for I guess inactivity on my account. I hadn't traded on the funded in over a month, so they were letting me know that I have to trade at least once and be active on it at least once in the next 30 days, otherwise it gets deleted. So there's my activity. There you go. And so yeah, this is just a really nice trade overall. Like I risked well here. I could have chose two contracts instead of three. Two contracts would have put me at like $344 worth of risk. I said fuck that. Let's do or two contracts would have. I said fuck that. Let's do three contracts, which would put me a little bit over 500, which I don't normally do, but at the end of the day, here's the deal. Like I'm trading combine accounts, and if we're a little bit over 500, it's okay. Um, And so, yes, 4 minute inverse, entered with a market order when we started trading down a little bit further. Break even was at this high here, and then you could see we just pumped to the 1 hour unfilled. So I had a nice target. My model was there with the 15 minute / 5 minute continuation. We had a nice break even point. There was a nice inversion on the 4 minute. Everything played out really nicely here, and I have absolutely zero complaints. This was an amazing trading day, especially in some price action that hasn't really been the greatest. I'm here, like people will complain regardless, but really, I mean, this price action has not been good. If you look at the daily, like, come on, um, you know, like we're chopping around, So it's just it hasn't been that great. Um, but for me today, I mean, I followed my rules. This is a trade, obviously, I would take if I was back testing. It was a great. So let me just go over the trade here, show the executions. This is the combine account, one of three of them. This is the leader. So these are copied across three. And then the funded account also took this trade. Got the funded up to $1,000, which is a nice little buffer now again. This is the same funded I took a payout on already. So yeah, still holding on to this one. And there you go.